I'm not a lifeguard. Never was one.
Barry, are you crazy? You almost lost a hand.
I had a pet frog once.
Little ginger moron.
Welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Sequel. This is the movie podcast where we're talking sequels, and we do it in two parts. Usually, but with the strikes that are going on, actor strike, writer strike, it's really, Jamie's been working his ass off trying to get some people. So we have some editors, a few other people, and I understand some people are with solidarity with the strike, which is totally cool. So it's given us that opportunity. Early in the year, we brought in our hall pass. So we're using, I guess, extra hall passes. We copied the ones the teachers had. So we're good to roam free and choose whatever sequels. And this is sort of one that we thought we were going to do for next week's guest, Devanny Pinn. She has a small but memorable role in the first Piranha 3D, which is a remake of the 1978 classic. So we're doing the sequel to that this week, and that is Piranha 3 Double D, which, wow. Whew. This is one, I don't know how this one got made, but I'm happy it did because it gives us lots to discuss. Before I introduce you to my partner and our special guest this week, I got to let you know, if you're in New Jersey this Labor Day weekend at Leadfest in Parsippany, New Jersey, you can meet last week's guest, one of my favorite guests we've ever had, Mark Holton. You know him from Leprechaun,
Absolutely.
Teen Wolf as Chubby, and Francis Buxton from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And Saturday and Sunday at Leadfest, they're going to show the movie, and he's going to be there signing autographs, which is going to be so cool. I'm taking my daughter. There's going to be old cars. There's going to be a Batmobile, Scooby-Doo, Mystery Machine. So it'll be a lot of fun, and you can meet Mark, which is pretty rad. So put that on your calendar for the weekend. And now, man, Piranha 3 Double D, I got to introduce you to my partner in this sequel watching journey, Jamie Riccardi. Jamie, how are you?
I'm okay, Doug. How are you doing?
Pretty good. This is like the end of summer. This is actually perfect timing to do a movie like this, even though this is at a water park. So it's not really, I guess, obviously you can go to a water park whenever, but not outdoors, I guess. But anyway, I got to say this sequel, I think, covered our next 10-year quota of boobs in movies. Like we talked about the 90s, forgot the rule. They said, screw the rule. This movie's like, oh, we're making up for lost time.
You know, I question like the actresses that decided to, because here's a question I have. There's a lot of actresses in this movie that don't say anything except for like shrieking or like giggling, you know, because they get sprayed with a hose or something or going down a slide. Does that count as SAG?
Oh, are they in SAG? I don't know, but their boobs are doing a lot of motion.
None of them were sagging.
No, they were not. No,
but okay. So this movie, you know, obviously is extremely unrealistic. But I will tell you, the most unrealistic part of this entire movie is the fact that the dorky kid ends up with a girl. I think because there's no way that kid, who I was calling Bud Bundy the entire movie, is ending up with that. Yeah, that he's ending up with her. So to me, that's the most unrealistic part of the movie.
Yeah, very unrealistic. Well, I guess she got a little wet, there was a joke about that multiple times in this movie. But maybe she got excited because she said, "Ooh, you read a book about marine biology just for fun?" Well, I wanted to see what all the hype was about.
Oh my gosh,
love it.
This movie, I'll be honest. I feel like the last few months, we've just been going down such a crappy rabbit hole of just garbage. I mean, this movie, I almost will take Sharknado that we watched over this one.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have a question at the end. Obviously, it's perfect that we have our guest. Before I introduce him, because obviously, I'll introduce him and then bring him to this point. Man, I feel like Nick has taken the reins of like he gets all the good ones. Like he's done two of the same movie.
I know.
Just a remake of a sequel remake. That's crazy.
But again, he did get one of the best movies we've ever watched.
Cannonball Run 2.
Right.
Yeah,
so we did throw him one good bone. You know.
Yeah, one good bone. And Munchie,
One.
he's the king of Munchie. Well, anyway, Nick Sperdone, our buddy, he did Munchie. Munchie Strikes Back. Now 2 Piranha 2 movies, which is something. Halloween 8. God.
By the way, isn't there another Munchie?
No, that's
The first-
Munchies. That's the first one.
The first
Okay,
one,
it's the
yeah.
first one. Okay.
No,
All right.
he's done both Munchies that are possible
That's
for
right.
us to cover.
So he did both
But,
Munchies and both Piranhas.
But the
Until they-
Piranhas were the
until they
same
rebooted
movies,
it,
sort
yeah.
of.
Yeah, they were.
God,
Yeah.
they were good. Jim
Okay.
Wynorski, please. One more Munchie. And Nick Sperdone. Nick, how you doing, man?
Doug, Jamie, thank you so much. So glad to be back and visiting Piranha 3 Double D.
3 Double D. You guys, I'm sure most of you are listening. If you're watching, Nick looks like a crooner from the 1920s who's maybe like 10 feet tall and looking down at the audience in front of him.
I'll be doing Dean Martin cover songs after the podcast. So
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Don't
Maybe
tease
a
us with
little
that if you're not going to do it.
it's just the kick in the head.
That's not Dean Martin, by the way. That's why it's.
Wait, yeah, it is.
I know. I just wanted to see.
Oh,
I just
all
wanted to catch it.
But yeah, it's great to be back, guys. Thank you so much for having me. And I was hoping James Cameron was going to direct this one too, but I don't think he got this one.
Oof.
No, he was too. Yeah.
No, go ahead, Doug. Because I don't
What
even
I'm
know
gonna-
if there's
what
a
I'm gonna
script.
say- Oh,
There's no
yeah, I don't
script
think
in
there's
this
a
movie.
Script.
There's
really
absolutely
is
no script. No.
Yeah. No, this movie plays the whole good girl leaves hometown to get out. She has to come back for the summer. And like that's the movie, but they basically took the same blueprint of a ton of 80s movies, like a ton of movies that were have been made over time, and all they did was change water park, creepy stepdad. Like that's your stepdad.
Oh,
and
he's
fired
extremely
all
creepy.
the lifeguards. Like
Yeah, I
all
know.
the lifeguards are actually lifeguards for big-breasted girls.
For
But wait a second.
yeah.
Wait a second. I don't even know if they are lifeguards because he also has Hasselhoff being a lifeguard who's not a
I love
lifeguard.
it. Oh,
So
dude.
I'm my guess is there's absolutely no one there that qualifies as a lifeguard at this place. So whether if the piranhas didn't attack, there's going to be plenty of drowning because these people are not going to know what to do. Although there were tons, and I mean tons of flotation devices.
Oh, dude, they weren't singing.
That's-
One thing
No,
I have to
they
mention
were-
now, before I forget it, I think it's so cool. Obviously, Hasselhoff, if you look at his credits, I'm not saying he was in a ton of movies, but I love the fact that when he talks about the movies that he was in, he mentions Anaconda 3. Hey, lady, I was in Anaconda. Well, no, when he's talking to the kid, because the kid didn't know who he was, he's like, you don't
Yeah.
know Baywatch? You don't know Knight Rider? And he's like, Anaconda 3? Like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
that was good. Now,
Jekyll
I
and Hyde on Broadway.
Jekyll and
I wonder. I really wonder if is he in on the joke that he's such a tool, or do you
Yeah.
think he thinks he's really as cool as he thinks he is?
Oh, I think he is really cool. Like,
Okay.
I think he is really cool. I'm thinking he's in on the
I
joke
think he
that he
plays
knows
that
he was on a
shtick, yeah.
show that was ridiculous.
Okay, he
Right.
is not really cool. He's like the dad who thinks he's cool around the kids friends, and who's really like a tool. That's what
Dude, he's
Hasselhoff
cool.
is.
No,
he
we
is
have
not
talked to
cool.
Two people that worked with that one girl that we talked
Oh.
to, I can't think of her, Crystal Allen, when she said she had a party to watch Anaconda 3, and she just openly said, "Oh, David, if you're not doing anything," and he didn't say he was going to come or not, and he showed up and hung out with everyone. That's
Because
cool.
he had nothing else to do. Because
Ugh,
no
that's
one
not
would hang
nice.
out with him. That's why.
That's not
That's the only
nice.
reason why he showed up. That just shows you how uncool he is. That he just showed up to her house, who he really didn't know, and he had no other plans.
Because
Could you imagine if
Baywatch was
none of you had no other plans? He got like evicted from his apartment, and he was like, "Hey, Crystal, I know this is kind of weird and wild, but do you think I can live here for like 3 weeks?"
he's just
I bet
he's just at the food table, like putting stuff into like a bag to take home with him.
Yeah, he opens up
I
his
bet
red
you-
Baywatch jacket.
He was probably at home, sitting there, just looking at his phone, waiting for someone to text him, hoping that he would have some plans. And he's like, "Oh, another night alone. Got nothing to do. I guess I'll watch Baywatch again."
He's
That's
watching old
basically
Knight
what.
Rider episodes.
Yeah, I mean he is not cool, and I honestly think he really thinks he is cool. because he obviously is huge in like I think Asia or something.
Germany.
He's like,
No, Germany.
Germany.
He's huge.
okay,
Yeah.
he's huge. So I think he takes that fanboying and he thinks it's the same here because he's not cool. To me, Gary
fanboy
Busey is way more cooler than him.
Oh my god.
Now, I text Doug, Nick, and the only Piranha I saw was the one that we reviewed. So I go to my Fire Stick,
Classic.
I put in Piranha Double D, and I'm watching it, and the first scene is Richard Dreyfuss. And I'm like, and he's playing.
One.
Well, no. He was playing Hooper, and I'm like, this is really cool. Okay, I think I like this movie. It's starting off right, and then I'm thinking, like, I think as the credits go on, they just said Piranha 3D. There was no second Double D, and I'm like, that's why I text Doug. I go, all right, let me try another one. Then I saw Gary Busey, and I'm like, all right, this got to be the right one. So so I almost watched the wrong one, but in my defense, it was the right title.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. There was a lot more D's in this one than the Elizabeth Shue Adam Scott one.
Oh, dude, I gotta say I saw, and then we'll get into the movie, guys. But there is a video online. It's like Christopher Lloyd's scenes, and it's like from the first movie and the second movie. It looks like they shot them at the same time because there was the scene like Elizabeth Shue shows up, and she's like, "Let me in," and then the next clip is from this movie, and it's Danielle Panabaker, and she's like, "Let me in." And I'm like, it's the same thing. He's dressed the same.
He doesn't get enough credit because when you think of like movie like just weirdos or bad, you think of John Malkovich, you think of Gary Oldman, like these guys that played Christopher Lloyd. He plays the most bonkers characters in every movie he's in. Back to the Future, he's a nutty professor. In Roger Rabbit, in Clue, in like Piranha, like he's always like a maniac. And he doesn't get enough credit because he always plays that role very well. And then not for nothing, it's almost the same role in every movie. I mean, this guy could have been Doc Brown.
Yeah, if you put white hair on him, yeah. He opens the door. He's like, Marty, and he's like, nope. It's 3 kids.
All right, let's get into it. So this movie starts off like a lot of sequels do. It lets us know what happened in the first one, what happened at Lake Victoria. We get a lot of booty shaking. I can't believe that Dimension Films put this movie out. Like when they show the 2 movie companies, the first one is like, I don't even know what the hell it was. It was like 3 letters that didn't make a real word, and then something else, and then it's like Dimension. I'm like, holy shit, they distributed this guy?
When did the first one come out? Because it was 3D also, right? It was only okay. So when did this come out?
A year, 2011, 2012. I think we're back to back.
Yeah.
All right. So was there like a big 3D flux back then? Were they trying to ride on?
That was the one. Like when I talked to, can't think of his name right now, Nathan a few weeks back. That's what it was. There was that right after Avatar in 2007 ish. Right after that is when they were pumping those out again. And then obviously they flopped again.
So what, you saw the first one, the 3D one?
No, I didn't know.
Okay. Because is this movie considered a horror movie or a comedy?
I would say it's
because
comedy.
they're really like, there's nothing scary in this movie at all. And even the deaths are like comical. Right? I mean, like
super comical, yeah.
Yeah. So what is? I mean, I would say the main target would probably be perverts, and then considering basically almost every other scene there's nudity.
No, that's true.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if it's considered a horror movie or comedy or just let's see how many boobs we can. Because I bet you there's way more boobs than kills in this movie.
Well. Not to bring the mood down, but you know who the executive producer of this movie was, right?
Harvey Weinstein. I saw the Weinstein company.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well that makes sense. Okay,
everything
private auditions.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, what do they have to do for those roles?
Okay, so you didn't answer my question though. So these girls that are like going down the water slide or having like a water fight that are just giggling, does that count? Does that count as a SAG? Like, do they get into SAG, you think?
I would think so.
Because if they're not getting into SAG and this is the role they decide, like this is their big break. Hey, Mom, Dad, I got my first movie role. Running around topless just splashing in water. Like, I don't know. Is that really where you want to start your career?
People start people start in the craziest roles and then they break out. Not saying anyone in this movie went on to do anything huge, but there's some people that things start, you just got to get on a set. But you know what's funny? We always joke about that SAG thing, but it's so crazy because back in the day, even Mark last week, they said, oh, you need your SAG card. Do you want a speaking role? But I feel like there's so many other people that don't speak. Maybe they changed the rules afterwards, but there's so many
They're
people
called
we
mutes.
talk to.
Mutes?
Mutes.
Two
You said
mutes.
there are so many people that don't speak.
They're called mutes.
Yikes.
They're going to write some angry emails to me.
Delete the Twitter.
Delete the Twitter. But no, I don't even know what we're talking about. Oh, no. I just think it's so crazy because I feel like that isn't the thing. I guess so many people can go out and just get like a day part and just do this type of role. But
See,
the amount of boobs are in this movie is crazy.
It is crazy. And, I thought to get into SAG, you just basically say one like line and that gets you in. Like that's like your golden ticket. So if you don't speak,
that's historically, from actors that we talked to, like R.A. Mihailov, it's either speaking line or I think time on set. Because R.A.'s he needed another day on
right.
that movie to get health insurance. But
maybe there's a boob SAG. That if if you show your boobs like maybe
or
5
boob,
times,
no boobs, no SAG.
Yeah,
because if they sag, you're out of SAG. So you have to no SAG.
Okay, so no SAG boob into SAG.
Yeah,
like if you show your boobs in 5 movies, you're in. So it's like if you don't speak but you show the boobs, you're in. But you got to be 5 movies.
Oh, so you're saying boobs equal a movie line?
Like, right. So, so you don't have to technically speak, but if you do show the boobs in 5 movies, then that counts as speaking one line.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Best boobs in a drama.
And honestly, I mean, this movie has such an 80s, like Porky's kind of vibe. It's such like you said 2011. So like this kind of movie really doesn't fit the time. Like, they weren't movies
sort
like this.
But Dorm Days, this was like at the very end of those type of movies.
Okay,
I think this
the
is
amount
this
of
probably
nudity
ended
in this movie. You could take American Pie, Dorm Days, and Road Trip all in one, and it still would have matched how many naked women were in this movie.
Oh, I don't think. Yeah, well, Shannon Elizabeth's the only boobs in that first one.
Right, that's what I mean.
Pie.
So like,
the lesbians, yeah.
I mean, and there's plenty of people trying to hook up in this movie. So.
Oh, dude. How about, it's funny? Like that first opening scene when we do the flashback to Lake Victoria to give us like that setup and you do the voiceover from like some shitty news channel and they're trying to tell us, oh, what happened? And now the town's desolate. Before they show the attack happen, there's all these people partying and hooking up, like asses shaking, boobs shaking. And there's a guy with a blow up doll just standing in the background, holding it up by the leg. And he's like showing it off like, yeah, mom.
Well, it's and again, that's like there's so many tropes when it comes to these parties. It's in these movies. There's always a blow up doll somewhere that just makes the rounds. Like somehow shows up on screen. I'm sure Animal House probably had one, and all that. It just were they such a big thing back then? And like, I don't know. I mean, when did you get your first blow up doll?
Oh, I was probably it was Christmas '94. Pamela Anderson. The boobs were probably equal to what her boobs feel like.
The blow up dolls are like swimming like the same materials like the swimming something like I find it like so weird like what they used to look like now. I mean now like what they make those real dolls or whatever they look like at least people like those things are like almost creepy like it's I don't know, it's so weird.
It's so we're
Oh man, we're going off on some tangents. Blair Witch, we're talking about no Dick Dracula, no Jack
Well,
Dracula.
the movie was super short, so we have to find something to kind of fill in.
This movie, I was blown away that it was an hour 22, and I was blown away. We'll get to it at the end. When it ended, I was shocked because we just covered Piranha 2 a year ago, and there's a lot of things that don't make sense in this movie at all.
But I'll tell you right now, I think the bloopers at the end or whatever were better than the entire movie.
Oh,
well,
yeah, dude.
no, not on purpose. I was just in case there was an end scene or something, and then I started seeing bloopers way better than the movie itself. Like, so,
really funny.
So the credits started rolling. I'm not to go to the end, but I am going to go to the end. The credits started rolling, and there were still 20 minutes left of like the scroll, and I'm like, wait, there's 20 minutes left?
Wow.
Right. So the movie was what, an hour and 28 minutes runtime, including the credits. So you take away the credits. I mean, the movie was probably close to like what, 60 minutes, which I'm very thankful for. I mean, and again, if you think about it, the movie really just starts off like with the amusement park opening, and just like there really is no plot. It kind of like just goes right quickly from beginning to end. Like, you got
they're at the park. They're at the main water park. They go try to discover what happened at the old park, and then they come back, and then that's the end. It's 2 days.
Okay, and the amusement park is in the same place where the massacre was the previous summer?
No, it's far away. That's why they drove so far. So the whole silly thing about this whole movie, which is crazy that So this is what makes no sense to me, is when you're going to do a remake, I never expect somebody like to do the same exact words and plot, but I would think that the fact that this one is more of, it's a prehistoric piranha that's been surviving for millions of years, living in like underground lakes, versus what we got in Piranha 2, The Awakening, which in that one, it was like more plausible because it was more like, oh, the government makes these piranhas and they kill people. I'm like, okay, that's more believable than.
I thought Christopher Lloyd was making them.
No, he just had one.
Because I thought he was the guy from the first movie who was like testing on it or something. I don't know.
He's just he's a marine biologist.
Oh,
he said he trained it.
All right. Well, listen.
We just changed the whole movie for Jamie.
Now it's much worse.
Now it's so much.
So these piranhas, they came from a place very far away from the first movie and somehow ended up here.
Yeah, in Merkin, Arizona.
Yeah, Merkin.
Do you know what Merkin is?
What is Merkin?
So I was watching the movie with my brother, and he's like, "Dude, it's called Merkin." He goes, "What's Merkin?" And he goes, "It's a pubic wig." And I'm like, "What?" And I had to look up in the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Merkin is defined as a
Wait. You said the Merriam-Dictionary?
Merriam-Webster dictionary. Merkin is defined as a pubic wig.
Okay, can I ask you why your brother knows that?
He's a doctor.
So people have got wait. So he's a doctor that puts on pubic wigs on people that don't have hair down there?
He knows everything. He knows a lot.
Wait a second. So so a Merkin is pubic wigs for people that it's like like instead of a toupee for bald people, it's a toupee for people that don't have hair down there.
Yeah, I guess maybe girls go, oh my God, it's no hair. Ooh. What are you, Ken doll?
You would think that with this movie, the town would be something boob related, but they went the other way.
Oh, that'd be good.
So for pubic wigs, so you could have any style. Like you can have like a mohawk down there if you wanted to. Yeah. You can have like
frosted tips.
That's a real thing. This is ridiculous. Now let me ask you a question. So you're basically making pubic wigs for other people to wear other people's pubic hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Jamie's like, hey, what'd you Google to find that website?
I'm asking for a friend.
Now the other question is it pubic wigs for down there, or do people wear the pubic wig on their head?
That'd be great. Well, that's
yeah.
like a Jerry curl.
Okay. Like
right.
Charlie Murphy Jerry curl looks like.
I just thought it was really funny that like that's what the town was. I was like, oh, all right.
You know what? I'd question your brother, even though he's a doctor, because I think if we take, we survey 10 doctors, I'm not sure if 9 of them will know what a Merkin is. So you might want to ask
one. You got to ask that right doctor.
And that's his brother. So I'm just saying,
that's you might want part of his Yelp review. It would be like a Yelp review for him or WebMD. It's gonna be like, oh, he was so kind to me. He made sure he remembered my kids' names and he recommended the best pube wig ever.
So does that mean is that there's a Merkin store that makes?
I hope so.
In Merkin, Arizona. That's the headquarters.
Mercantile, right? Couldn't you call it like a little play on word?
Okay. All right.
But yeah, so perfect segue to now we're in Arizona, in Merkin, Arizona, and we get, dude, the best was we see Gary Busey, which is amazing. And he looks sort of normal 11 years ago. Like
he looks very normal.
Yeah, he looked good.
I was surprised at how good he sounded and looked. So like that's why I thought this movie was even older, because he was like Gary Busey of movies.
Yeah, no, he was already crazy because he did Life with Gary, that Comedy Central show, when that guy lived with him. That was like mid-2000s. So he had that motorcycle thing in the mid-90s. So I feel like his last like normal role was like probably Under Siege, but he was going crazy then anyway.
So maybe he had a lot of CGI in this movie.
Wait, so Under Siege was crazy Gary Busey?
I think that's
he
what
was
he was
crazy.
I think he was always out there because his background is sketch comedy. Like he's a comedian. Like Bill Hader grew up watching him doing sketch on like Kansas City local, or so it was either Kansas City or someone in Oklahoma. But anyway, so we see him, which I'm like, this is cool. And then the other guy, I'm like, shit, it looks like Dorf or like Tom Coughlin.
Yeah,
the old Giants
like Tom
coach.
Conway.
And I'm like, I look up who it is.
Tim Conway.
I'm like, what a friggin' horror guy to pick. Clu Gulanger played the father in Freddy's in Nightmare 2, and he was in Return of the Living Dead. Like he's a great actor.
Oh, no way.
Wait a second. Wait, his name is Clu?
Clu Gulanger. Yeah.
Clu Gulanger.
Oh, dude, he's awesome. Clu.
That's a name I don't think he might be the only name Clu in ever.
Yeah, we said Clue 2 times in this. Christopher Lloyd and his first name. That was like the secret word. That'd be good.
A
little shout out to the late great Paul Rubens.
The secret word is Clue.
The secret word is Clue. But yeah, so anyway, so then we get like all these underwater shots. So it gives us. So
there's a lot of underwater shots in this movie.
Oh, dude, there is so many of the same underwater shots. So at least with Cameron in Piranha 2. The real Piranha 2, I'll call it. There were some very like scenic, like they were good looking underwater shots. They seemed different every time. These are the same ones. It was the same fluttering reef, like
it looked like it was in a swamp. It looked the water looked like it was swamp water, like when they were going every like shot underwater. So I mean, it looks
like they stuck the camera in a Mai Tai, like or not a Mai Tai, a mojito. Like that's basically what.
So this whole scene kind of confused me. So like I said, they're searching for their missing cow. Is that what they're searching for? Or they came across a cow?
I think they came across a cow. I thought they were just night
because they were calling out a name. He was like Stella or some kind of.
Okay,
thing like
first of all, Stella's the name that I know farmers call cows.
Oh, okay. It might have been Stella, but it was something. They were like, "Where is she?" And then they.
Okay, so they probably look for the cow. So, did the cow just happen to wander in there and die? Like, or did the piranhas drag the cow in there? And like they don't really explain how or why the cow got there
in the middle of the lake or pond or whatever.
And then what comes out of the cow? I didn't understand what that was. Well, that was. I mean, you knew you were in for a ride when 5 minutes is the first fart. Then I'm like, all right, this is
that was so bizarre.
It was very bizarre.
The piranhas are probably able. They don't need a cow to put their eggs in. They probably could put them anywhere, but it was just weird that they used.
Well, you find that out later on too.
Oh, yeah, but first of all, look at the size of those eggs. Like they look like they were huge, and
Yeah.
honestly was confused what was coming out because they were like big marbles.
Yeah.
Like it looked nothing like an egg, and they were huge. So I didn't understand what came out until I had a wiki later on what was going on because I had no idea what that was. Yeah.
But God, when they just say when especially Gary Busey says, let's just light it on fire. Like that's his thought is to just try to light it on fire.
His comments after smelling it was so funny. He's like, man, they would scare the fleas off of dead buzzards.
Okay.
I wonder how much of that was improv.
I think he wanted to light it on fire because that was his cow, and it was like a little memorial.
Yeah. He's like, what's
What
that
way to
smell?
go? You see your cow.
Let's use my Zippo lighter and find out what's going on.
But the cow was intact, like so it wasn't eaten, right? Or was it? I don't know. It was a full cow, right?
Maybe in the insides. No, the outside looked normal because they didn't
Yeah.
sense anything yet. They were just like, oh,
Okay.
it's dead.
So why wouldn't a piranha eat the outside of the cow? They tear apart every single person in this movie, but they don't touch cows?
It was using it to hold the eggs.
Oh, so it knew, okay, listen, we can't touch the cow. We can't hurt the cow. We're just going to plant the eggs, which, again, how'd they get inside? How'd they get in the cow?
Oh, they went in the butt.
Yeah.
Okay. You see the size of these piranha? They're not fitting in a cow's ass. There's no way. I mean, the fact that they end up other places as well, which is ridiculous. So, I mean, it just, they somehow, it's like Piranha 2. They're able to get inside cadaver without even, so yeah. Okay.
I feel like the director of this movie saw that and was like, I see you, James Cameron, and I raise you.
Oh, he raised it all right.
Did he? Yeah, well,
wait,
in some
did he?
parts, but
Oh my gosh.
I was shocked.
I don't know about that.
Shocked and
We'll
appalled.
get into it. Well, I'll talk about something that I was shocked that wasn't more of a thing, and I think they almost forgot about it when they edited the movie because there's some things that happen in. Yeah, we'll get into it. So how about Busey when they start getting attacked, which happens pretty quick, and that's the only thing about like the piranha deaths. They're very uneventful because there's only so much they can show. It's the same thing. I think the funny part of this movie is like the Tucker and Dale kind of kills when people accidentally kill themselves.
Yeah.
Those are like the funny ones, which that's why I like Tucker and Dale and like Shaun of the Dead. Like there's the accidental ones that are sort of funny. But when they're getting attacked and he sees the one and he grabs it out of his cheek and he bites it and spits it in the air. And like the fact that might be the greatest like get to a title card that we've ever seen.
Well, don't forget it's 3D, right? So they had it like, so that was the point of like, I think same thing that happened in one of the night Freddy or Nightmare on Elm Street. Or was there a Friday 13th that was 3D? Or no, it was just Nightmare on Elm Street, right?
No, Freddy's Dead.
There was Jaws 3D.
Yeah, I know. But I thought there was I know there was a Nightmare on Elm Street one, but like that's what they do. Like they right in the minute, right before like the title card comes out, they give you that one 3D moment where it comes out, and then the rest of the 3D is like all crap.
Yeah, I think Doug's frozen.
Oh, he's frozen, all right. So,
but
yeah, when I was watching this, and again, I went back to like saying, all right, so Richard Dreyfuss is in this one, the first one, which I didn't go far enough to see him die. So they're trying to do like a Scream thing. They get like a cameo right in the beginning of the movie, and then they kill him off in 2 seconds. See, I'd rather see Gary Busey the rest of the movie.
Yeah. If
it would have made the movie so. Oh, I mean, not even just coming back, just like being one of the main characters, like somehow surviving, and because the movie would have been 10 times better. Gary Busey makes a movie.
Yeah, I mean, I loved him in like everything. I mean, everything.
Did you know that he won an Academy Award?
I've heard that. What did he win for?
He played Buddy Holly.
Oh,
in a movie.
Yeah. Okay. I remember him with the glasses and the. Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, it really is amazing
Wow.
when you
Wow.
see the career and that was like I think in the 70s.
Yeah.
So you have Gary Busey winning an Oscar in the 70s, and you think, all right, there's no way to go but up. And he never really made. I mean, I know he made a Stephen King movie. You ever see Silver Bullet?
Yeah. That was the werewolf one, right?
That was the werewolf one. So he
Yeah.
was in that one with Corey Haim, and he did a lot of side stuff. But you would think that you win an Academy Award for playing a famous person. You think you'd go a little further, and he really just was always that that side guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, he'll always be Mr. Joshua. The fight scene at the end of Lethal Weapon. Oh, so
it's great.
good.
That, I mean, he was in what's the one with Keanu Reeves?
Oh yeah, Point Break.
He was in Point Break. I mean,
Little
so
shit,
he was always I mean, Under Siege. So he was always in good movies, but just never I feel like his brother's in more movies than him, or is it his
son,
brother, right?
Jake.
Oh, it's Jake.
It's his son, Jake.
Which is bizarre because Jake looks doofy. Jake looks like Gary Busey after Gary Busey's accident.
Afterwards,
Yes, that's what Jake looks like. So at least Gary has an excuse. What's Jake's excuse?
That he's like, I am my father's son. That's his only excuse. It's genetics.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really do feel again. I was saying that Jake Busey is Gary Busey's son, but he looks like Gary Busey after Gary Busey's accident.
The key word is after.
Yeah,
After. Oh my god.
yeah. We just had a rant on Gary Busey. We were talking Gary Busey. I said,
I love it. Perfect. Leaving it in.
Yeah.
The wind blew out my cord.
That's okay. We were going.
We got this.
I said this movie would have
love
been
it.
10 times better if they somehow Gary Busey survived, and he was in the rest of the movie.
If he survived.
If he survived and he was in the rest of the movie, all right, then we got something, because I can see Gary Busey all day long in the movie.
Like him and Ving Rhames were like both just no legs in the movie.
Like Ving Rhames.
You know, it was okay. When
Like how?
Ving Rhames was walking down with a skinny, crutches, I was dying, because he got this big
Get my
upper body,
legs.
and then you see these skinny legs just walking. I did think that part was funny.
So good.
Yeah. He's like, titanium. He's screaming titanium.
Ridiculous.
Do I look like a
So-
bitch to you?
Oh, all right.
So then, so I know you obviously guys talked about like Busey and him dying, the title card, and then we go right to the double D. David Koechner, who's in this movie, hilarious comedian, improviser, crushes it. I bet you he had no script in this. entire
Yeah.
And again, he played as himself. I mean, he plays this role all the time, and he plays it so well.
Yeah.
It's the same type.
He's this character from Anchorman.
So here's the-
that's for yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, whammy.
Yeah,
He's whammy in this
whammy.
movie.
Yeah.
What I wanted to say in the beginning, when I know Nick would appreciate this because he's a Seinfeld fan. Do you think like Elaine would have a lawsuit at this place? The fact that it's double D's get in for free,
Oh yeah, totally. Oh yeah.
like at the diner.
I watched Seinfeld too. I mean, you could include me too. I mean, so I am
I
a fan
did
as well.
include you. I did.
No,
include
you said Nick will appreciate it because he's a fan of Seinfeld, but I'm also a fan of Seinfeld.
No, I said that's why I waited until
Oh.
we introduced him to
Okay.
mention it. I know you like.
Okay,
Seinfeld.
I mean, we also
Come
can
on.
include George because George was a marine biologist. So why couldn't we
That's
include
true.
him in
Oh,
this
that
movie
is
too?
true.
Okay.
Was it a title
saying.
list?
That is true.
And you know what? Kramer could have played Gary Busey's role. He would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Kramer's
wish
like
he
Gary.
didn't fall
I
off.
feel like he's
Kramer-
like
I
he's
think-
like Gary Busey light.
I feel like he would have been a better Christopher
Yeah.
Lloyd's character.
Kramer? Oh, Christopher Lloyd nailed it. You can't.
No,
you
I
can't
know.
replace
Yeah, no,
Christopher
he
Lloyd.
nailed it. No, if Kramer would have wanted to play Kramer afterwards, I think he could have. I think all those people did want to play the same character.
Correct.
So, like, George didn't want to play a George, but he probably could have been like, hey, let me be like Dreyfus and play Hooper in the movie. I don't think George would really ever play George again.
No.
Like, he obviously did it on Curb, but not like for other roles. He always wanted to be so different.
Yeah, but-
just like Kramer.
but you know
he
what?
was like detective after.
I feel like I thought I know Friends all tried it, but did they all try to do their own show afterwards or no? Like
Oh,
Or
yeah.
spin-offs?
Kramer was a detective. Jason Alexander did 2 shows. He had one, he was sports radio or something, or sports journalist, and he did something else. But no, Elaine's the one.
Well, I
who
know
knocked it out of the
Elaine
park.
did. I
She's
know
had,
Elaine
like,
did.
3
Yeah,
different shows.
Yeah, but the other two, they really didn't do much afterwards. I think because they were so typecasted, like I think it was hard to see them outside of the roles. I mean, I just, how do you follow up from Kramer? That's a tough.
No,
that's a tough pill to take. So okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it also didn't help that he did a big rant when he was, that didn't help him either.
I know.
So that's
another lawsuit that would be had is the cooch cam in the adult.
Oh my gosh.
God.
This whole movie, I mean, like I'm surprised he got an R. I mean, it was like literally every other scene, and there was no purpose at all for any of it. Because even in the scenes where like the couple are going to have sex in the van, you don't see nudity. Like maybe the one scene where you should see nudity, you don't see it. But otherwise, you see it the rest of the movie for scenes that don't need nudity.
Maybe that's the joke.
That's
Maybe
true. It's like the speaking, the SAG people don't show.
Right.
Maybe the no SAG people have to show.
Well, I think, you know what? If you got to decide which direction you're going to go in. Right. I mean, so once you start, you're like, all right, I'm going to show my boobs once, then that's it. You got to show your boobs 4 other times. You can't speak in 4 movies.
Yeah.
Because once you go down that road, you can't leave. So I think that's what it is. But I mean, really, like any other, like there's been so many, there were a couple of makeout scenes in this movie, a couple hooking up, and no one's showing boobs except for the girls just walking around. Just happen to walk around, and that's it.
You get to Hollywood, they say, hey, honey, come here. You got 2 choices. You can talk with your lips or you can talk with your nips. And that's it. I said the same thing to Marilyn Monroe back in 50.
Why is that a trope that when we think of like managers in Hollywood, they all sound, like they've been smoking Virginia Slims for like 30 years. Like that's like, I guess they nailed it. What was it in Friends? Joey's manager was one of those.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, it's a trope that, it's always these women that just been smoking for years and had that gravelly voice.
I think of the Beetlejuice lady.
Yeah.
Lady who
absolutely.
It's the same. I just think of that voice. Yep.
And she was smoking probably Virginia Slims. It's a whole, ridiculous.
So real quick before I like this movie, they don't have the actual budget on IMDb. It says $5 million estimated. What do you think this made opening weekend?
Wait,
in USA and Canada.
So this was in a theater?
It opened.
Oh
it opened in
gosh. Well, if the trailer just showed a bunch of women running around bathing suits and everything else, I'm going to say this made $15 million.
I know the answer.
I
don't want to say it though because I looked it up before. I looked it up.
A tenth of that. Yeah. A tenth of not even a tenth of that. 1% of
250,000.
182, and this is like this is when a movie doesn't do good, because even if the trailer was amazing, but the opening weekend 182, gross 376. So after the opening weekend, everybody at the water cooler on Monday was like, "This shit sucks."
Unless you like nips.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, I'm all for nudity in a movie, but like they pretty much every single one was inflated to like plastic surgery, and it just felt like, first of all, it felt like gross after a while. Like it was just so much that it was like, you can watch it. Listen, if this is what you're looking for, you can find plenty of movies that will have it. I just felt like this movie just made it gross.
Yeah.
No,
it's like too much. And it's great that the other people in this, like we were talking about, I mentioned before, Tucker and Dale versus Evil, just the way that movie is. And the girl from that, I think her name is Katrina Bowden. Mm-hmm. She's in this. She plays Shelby. And dude, talk about a role when you land it. It's like, okay, you're going to be like the shy friend. You're going to be upset because your friend has bigger boobs, which is the weirdest friggin' line that is said. But then the whole thing with the piranha inside her, which we'll get to, but even like she's trying to flirt with that guy, Josh, and he's so bad at flirting that she goes, I always love the water. And he goes, I like water too. It's wet.
And again, we've discussed this probably in every single Friday the 13th movie. You're going to go skinny dipping in murky late night water.
Wait, Murky and Merkin?
See?
Murky Merkin.
But I mean,
come on down to Murky Merkin's pube hair.
I mean, you this happens in every movie. No way. No one's doing this. No one's doing this at night. No one.
If you can read my notes right now, it says, "Do people really do this?"
Okay. Not only that, and this is something that they do all the time. When the girl is undressing, she always says, "Turn around, don't look." You're going skinny dipping in clear water, like in water that you're going to see each other, but you got to turn around when I'm undressing. Yet she's facing forward when he's undressing.
Yeah, she goes, no funny business.
Yeah.
She's like, let me get a good look at that penis because I think in about 30 minutes of movie runtime, that thing's going to be missing a few inches.
Oh my gosh. But this happens in every movie. And it really, I don't know where it started from because I don't think it's ever happened. I don't think anyone's going.
I would never do it.
No one would.
One time I almost did it in the ocean. And then all I remember is thinking about horror movies. Okay. And I was like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah. Okay. The ocean. Fine. I'm on board the ocean. You know, you could do that. Fine. Not in a
Jaws,
lake.
Man. No.
Nah, you're not going that deep. I mean, I'm fine with that. I mean, but you're not doing it in a lake that just looks creepy, and you're not doing it like late at night. Like you're not going to do it. So
yeah,
okay.
Just do it in the middle of the day. No one's in that area anyway. Yeah. I bet you if you go to that same spot the next day, no one's there.
It's empty. Correct.
The fact that they found the van when we talked about the van scene, the fact that they found the van, I don't know how, unless it was sticking out.
Well, because this movie took place on two sets. It was one with the music park and one with the lake. That's all it was. There was no other scene at all. Like, even when the guy gets pulled over, it was probably like a driveway that he was pulling on.
Oh my God. Are you talking about when David Koechner gets pulled over? That is such a great part. He's so great in this movie. He's such a guy that I bet you he nails one takes and then maybe they let him do like extra ones. He's just such a great improviser.
Yeah.
But so how about when they're in the water and she goes, I just felt something against me. Was that you?
Yeah, she goes, okay. Something bit me. Was that you? And he's like,
yeah. Okay. So his mouth is up here. He's not underwater. And she wants to know, so does she think that his junk could bite?
It's like that movie Teeth, but like the male version.
You know what? I'm surprised they haven't made that movie because that would make more sense.
There was a scene in this movie that reminded me of Teeth very much in the bathtub.
Yes.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I mean, I never saw the movie. I know the movie, but there's also a movie, I forget what it's called, where the girl's area sings. And I gotta get you the trailer for this. So literally, she goes on stage and she puts the microphone down there and it sings.
My clitoris makes a hit Taurus. I'm trying to think of a pun that would be down there that would have anything to do with that, but I don't know. That sings? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's something. But then from there we cut to Ashley, who she says to the guy in a later scene, which I can't believe.
I know.
He goes, do you think Ashley's prettier than me? Which, whatever, they're both like beautiful, but he's like, no, I don't like girls with big breasts. It's like, oh, that's not what to say.
But you know what though? She seemed totally okay with it.
Yeah,
she was totally okay with it.
Which is bizarre. Say something. Oh no, I don't like her. I love your eyes. I love this. Not like, I don't like big breasts.
Listen, she's okay what she has. She's confident. Doesn't matter.
As well, she should
with
be.
it, man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
God, but those Bible kids, when they're sitting in that really cool van, you're like, man, these guys are going to church every Sunday. They're in like the cool stoner van.
That call, she literally turned into like she did a switch. Like she's praying, when she's praying and she's like saying all these nice things. The minute she stops praying, she starts cursing and she turned into the devil in seconds. She put
another movie trope. Movie trope. The great movie. What's the one with Jerry O'Connell and Jake Busey? And Horatio Sands.
Tomcats.
Tomcats. When Jerry O'Connell is dating the librarian.
Yeah.
And when Mother, we're gonna go back into my room, and she ties him up in like a second. That's a trope in movies too.
You know what? To that trope, I mean, every single librarian in every movie and like TV show has that, like, you know, like one, she has the hair pulled back and the glasses, and then she's wearing leather and freaky.
Next thing you know, the kid
I've
comes
seen
out.
a lot of librarians in my day, and none of them are under 65.
Nope.
First of all, like, okay, and none of them I want to see in leather and go into a club. So I don't know where they got that trope from either.
The only club they're going into is Club Med.
Yeah, so that's a weird trope.
But then that whole sex scene is kind of crazy too. But it's like she's like "F me," like as soon as she's done,
Like literally,
and then she handcuffs him. Yeah, handcuffs him, takes the key, puts it into her boob, and then she's like, "We're moving," and I'm like, so what's silly about this? This is another death in the movie that isn't caused by, like, when we watch Friday the 13th. 99% of the kills by Jason or Michael Myers are by them. This one, they kind of kill themselves, because even if the piranha didn't come, that guy was dying and she left him.
Okay. First of all, when those kind of handcuffs, they're not like cop handcuffs. They're not that strong. So, you know, not that I know from experience.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jamie.
But they're not that strong.
You're going to get the real ones. You have to pretend you're an officer. I have a fake badge.
You got to go to police office depot. And
yeah, they're definitely not going to be that he can't get out of it. That's number one. Two, she leaves him. Like, she didn't even try to help him. Like, he's literally and I think it took her 5 seconds to say, you know what, I'm out of here. And then she left to get help, but the help was sitting on top of the van instead of swimming to shore,
yelling help.
100% made no sense. She goes, "I'm gonna go get help." She goes in there. She stands in the van, waiting for it to go down like the Titanic. And then in the last ditch effort, she doesn't even know the piranhas are eating him yet.
That's what it is. She did not know the piranhas were there yet, so there was no reason for her not to go in the water and swim to shore.
But she said she was going, oh, yeah, no, exactly. But when you see him punch through and it's like a nub, and then that's it. We don't see anything happen to her until she's being used as like an appetizer. And it was just sitting there for them to pick at her whenever they want in the bottom of the lake.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah. So weird. And again, she really did not try to help him at all. Like, she didn't even try to pull on the handcuffs to try. Like, she did nothing. She immediately try to escape.
See you later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, not for nothing.
Oh my God. And then
it was her slip that knocked the van in the water. So she basically murdered him.
She killed him.
She murdered him.
She did. She murdered him.
God was like, yeah, you're going to mess with me? that's what that was.
That was such
after she said, God, we're having premarital sex. And then he died.
You know what? That was such a Caddyshack move when he cursed the priest cursed that God, and then he got electrocuted.
You know what? It was very.
You don't mess with God. That's it.
It was very Final Destination.
Oh, that was no. That's what I mean. That killed. David Koechner killed. The cop killed. Those are like accidental. They have nothing to do with the killers in this movie. The piranha.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not even a horror movie. Like, it's just, even when he loses his arm, like, it looks silly. Like, it was just like a silly, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
So now from there, we talked about Shelby and saying like their whole thing when they barely get out of the water, like the piranhas are around them, but they don't really notice it. They just think something's after them.
I heard that name and I had flashbacks of Munchie Strikes Back, and I had like PTSD from it. I'm like, Shelby. I'm like, oh no. It's
Wait, is it Shelby and Munchie?
Oh, that's the girls.
No,
that's the redhead girls.
No, remember that's Andrew. Oh, God. The Elliot from the first.
Andrew Stevens.
His
name's Shelby in
the second one. Remember we made fun of it. We were like Shelby.
Okay, gotcha.
But I don't know. I heard that name. You don't hear the name Shelby that often, so I was like, I heard it. I'm like,
not too much.
Munchie.
I thought of Gone in 60 Seconds. The Shelby was the final car that Nicolas Cage had. That's where mine went. But then then we get like the one day till opening, and one guy's job is to spray boobs. That's all he is.
Pretty good job.
Who's watching the boobs?
And again, that's where they're dancing around like they're 5 years old running through a sprinkler. That's what they like. So what? Okay, I didn't see one of those girls acting as a lifeguard at all. They were basically using the amusement park the entire time and swimming. So he hired them to be lifeguards, but they didn't lifeguard anything. They were playing the whole time.
Yeah.
That's all they were doing. They were in the adult pool, adult pool section that he had it without telling Maddie.
Oh my
He
gosh.
just like threw that together. But I do love, like, sometimes these movies get foreshadowing right. And I still think it was cool seeing like Matt Bush, the nerdy kid, like when he is for some reason grabbing trash by using a trident, like he's
okay. I mean,
King Neptune.
I hated him with this trident. I hated it. I really did. It's just so like, again, the movie is dumb, and but him, like, his weapon of choice is the trident, and the way he throws it against the wall, and he sticks. What did he stick the one time?
A piece of like, it was like a Cheetos
trash
bag or something.
Oh, yeah, right. A Cheetos bag. Like, his aim is just unbelievable with this trident.
Well, it shows later on. A little foreshadowing.
They had to use it. I was like, I think they better use it. And then at the same time, one of my favorite character actors who's in so many shows.
Is this? Tell me the fat guy.
Yeah.
Oh my
Adrian
God.
Martinez.
Oh, sticking his.
Okay. So like, seriously,
best.
like his role in this movie was just so gross. Like, it was just ridiculous.
Oh, dude, I know. He had one in his ass, and he was having sex with the pool jet.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
but he's good, man. He's great in only Murders in the Building. He was only in one episode, but he was great. And he was on Stumptown. Like, so many times he shows up in things, and he plays, my buddy Larry Hankin was the dog catcher in Annie. In the reboot of Annie, he played the dog catcher, which is like a pretty cool little role. But
you know what?
No,
that's another trope. In every movie, it's always that fat guy who's just filthy, and just, is just like, does all these stupid things. Like, it's always a fat guy. It's always every movie needs that fat guy. Jonah Hill.
Yeah. I was about to say
although,
Jonah Hill.
Although American Pie didn't have a fat guy, right? I don't think there's a fat guy.
No fat guy.
They were all really good looking.
Whoa.
No fat guy at all. Not even.
Wait.
There's a fat person in that whole.
You just
movie.
said they're all really good looking. That was your take from the American Pie. No fat guy, but they were all really good looking.
They're all really good looking people.
Okay, rank them
you should see the people
from the most good looking to the least good looking.
Jamie, you should see the people that me and Doug went to high school with.
Marry, kill. Yo, go ahead. Go. You, do your marry, kill thing.
Which ones? Out of Sean William Scott, Allstriker, and Jim, or Finch?
Oh my gosh.
But it's funny. How do they have a movie like that with not one fat guy?
Yeah.
Not even as like not even a friend, but no rando. Even at the parties,
every
people.
like high school party always had that fat guy. Yeah, and that movie didn't. They did.
Wow.
Those bastards.
So how about Shelby, when she basically, we know at this point, the way she's like, she throws up, she's pregnant with, right? That's her having, that's
correct.
Like
that was morning sickness,
right?
Yeah. And the fat guy jumps in it.
Oh,
I mean, like, like the things he does in this movie. First of all, what was his job in the movie?
He was
the pool guy.
Chlorine guy. Yeah,
which he didn't do anything. He didn't do any of that. He just basically had sex with the pool the entire time.
Pretty much.
He made it dirtier.
He did.
So his job was to clean the pool. He made it dirtier.
He really did. I mean, so, and it's funny. I obviously not a lot of people saw this movie, but I wonder if, again, this movie was for perverts. I wonder how many people try to do what he did in the movie after this movie. Like, was there a trend of guys trying to do what he did?
Well, I think as a kid, that's something that you learned when you went to jacuzzi for the first time. You're like, hey, whoa. I don't think you stick it in there.
No.
But you're like,
no.
Hey.
I don't think so.
Do you think people, after they saw a scary movie, you think Bissell vacuum stock went up?
Well, vacuum's a little different than the jacuzzi.
A lot of kids were cleaning their room afterwards.
Well, the water comes out pretty fast. So I think it would be hard to even try to get in there.
Well, I would. It has to be hard to get in.
I knew you were gonna do it.
Hey, but
Hey-o. Oh my God, man! But dude, just the fact that the part. So then this is when Shelby, she is upset because Ashley's not answering her phone, and they've been best friends forever. They find the van, which I think still makes zero sense because the van sunk. Like we saw it sink. So I don't know if it just like popped back up or the piranhas got in and moved it or something. But when she's upset and she goes to the dock and Maddie follows her, I thought that was like a pretty like cool scene. In my head, I was thinking she was going to die. It was, to me, it's shocking that when you have these type of movies, when you're like, whatever, everybody can, it doesn't matter. This isn't a franchise. It doesn't matter who comes back. A lot of those people lived. I thought Shelby was going to die. There was like 3 times actually. She was around the piranha and she survived.
No, the death were mostly the extras in the background.
Yeah.
I mean, really, like there were no surprise.
Yeah.
There was one surprise death, I guess. Not even surprise, and you knew it was going to happen just the way it happened. But yeah, I mean, so she doesn't know she's pregnant, which I'm still trying to figure out how she got pregnant. Like she
fish like that happens a lot faster because it was the next day, not even like 12 hours.
It wasn't even 12 hours, but like all she did was she said she felt a bite. So do piranhas? Is that how they have sex? They bite and then that just yeah. I mean,
one pump chumps.
Like at least I don't know. I feel like they really like mashed together this movie and they're like, all right, we got to get these piranhas in there somehow, and you know whatever, and we got to do this one scene, and it basically comes out like a full grown piranha. Like it wasn't even like, it wasn't even like a baby piranha. It wasn't even like a tadpole or whatever. It was a full piranha coming out.
That was. Oof.
It was bigger than the ones that we saw in that Nightmare on Elm Street.
It was
sequence, like the dream sequence in the tub.
It was.
No, it's kind of crazy, but it was a cool scene. Like her falling in, the way it was like like splitting the dock. So it was like kind of a cool scene. So here's the part of the movie. Yeah, go.
Okay, I was gonna say she falls in the dock, and then like this whole scene, they could have escaped so many times. The dock wasn't that far away from where she was. I can't jump.
Yeah.
It literally was a step. Like she didn't even have to jump. She could have taken one step and she would have been fine.
She's
like,
holding out her
like,
arms to her and is about like maybe 2 or 3 inches away from her.
They should have had like her float away a little further, so it really was like a hard jump. It literally, she could have stepped over and it would have been fine.
She could have done a standing jump like right from where, and she would have been fine.
It was a very dramatic scene.
Yeah.
No, it was. And then they both fell in. And then this is the part that I wanted to really, this is like, I penciled this in. That's why it was so great when Nick said he would join us, was the fact that at this point in the movie, which is probably like 30 minutes in, when they get to the shore and they're like, oh my God, we got out of this. And they survived. And the one flies out. Okay. They kill it, whatever. But later in the movie, when they visit Christopher Lloyd, which we talked about Christopher Lloyd a bunch, he has one in a tank, no lid.
Well, maybe they don't all fly.
What do you mean? You don't think? You think just a couple of them?
Yeah,
fly? All out of the prehistoric.
Well, because really, then how come none of them are really flying the rest of the movie?
That's what I mean. It made no sense.
That's
why
what I'm
would
saying.
you introduce the flying there, and then why do you introduce the one thing at the end, the very, very end of the movie, which kind of like is?
Yeah, I know.
So stupid.
But it could have been just jumping out of the water. I don't know if it really flew out of the water. Like, because again, like you're saying, none of the other ones, they're all swimming. So I think it just jumped out of the water. That's what I don't think it flew.
It was just, to me, so silly. Yeah. And you know what it looked like? Like the ones in the other one just looked like ugly fish, right?
Yeah.
This one was obviously like CGI. It looked like Brainy Gremlin. Like it looked like Brainy Gremlin for the first one. It had like the colors.
It did have a gremlin look.
Why are they looking like this?
Yeah, I know.
Like the gill, like the little gill.
They try to make it look like a monster, kind of, and it just looked ridiculous. And they beat the heck out of it. I mean, when they really
dude, they smashed it up.
Yeah.
Man, but this
Yeah, go ahead. So those eggs that came out of the farting cow, that's what the piranhas come from. Those eggs.
So I'm thinking, so they really didn't, we found out why some got through. So I don't know if it's like one of those, like, oh, one got through and they had so many babies. But remember when David Koechner was, because he was being so cheap and he was stealing water from an underground lake. So when he was doing that, it let them up. And then I don't know how many came up, because we saw a lot of the ones after that scene when they're like, oh, it's not going to get to the drainage, is it? And we see them flying through. So maybe those were coming right from the underground lake.
Right.
But Yeah, what a silly thing. Like, that's one of those, they wrote the script and they're like, hey, Steve, one question. How the hell did they get here? And it's like, I don't know. Maybe Chet drills a hole to steal the water from underground. Oh, let's go with it, I guess.
And that's like, to me, a movie like Piranha, I guess it's a cool concept for one movie, but to have it's I don't know. It just like so silly. Like, they're at a music park. Like, well, first of all, again, we discussed this so many times what kind of gremlins can we have? So I wondered, the round table, they're all discussing, all right, where can the Piranha go next? And, like that one guy that says, you know what, how about an amusement park? Like, it just doesn't, like, it's just so dumb. Like, it really, I don't know. They're reaching.
Hasselhoff has a great line too.
Totally.
When it's like, they're like, save a life. And he goes, just get out of the pool. Like, just get out. Just get out.
Oh, no, yeah, he says, get out of the pool. It's not like they're going to follow you home. And that's what he said.
And you do see a lot of people standing around when all the people are getting eaten. They're still standing around. Like, they're helpless. The water was up to I think their waist, not even their waist. And they're still just standing there.
Yeah. I know. And it's like the one thing that, like, for us, and it's kind of cool that we had the opportunity to do this, to cover two of the basically the same sequels, essentially, like in the realm, the second film from the Piranhas. But I would say, like, the first one that we covered, I think, is so much more clever of a story, even though it's just as batshit crazy. It's more believable that the government made piranhas rather than, hey, there's this underground lake that's so far underground, they've been living here for all these years. When you say believable, you mean like the fact that a piranha can escape through a window and then hop along the dirt road into the ocean? You think
flew.
that knew exactly where to go? No directions, knew exactly where to go. Okay. And don't forget, he played peekaboo in the cadaver.
Yes, he did.
He waited for the nurse to leave.
Thinking about that scene got made and somebody threw a fish, like hey, did anybody play football? I was third string in high school. All right, you're gonna throw this fish out of the window, and then did it. I love that. It's the best, man.
Okay.
And that person later on went to direct Titanic.
And that person,
that's always amazing. That always amazes me. Again, it looks like almost like a college. It almost looks like it could be like a college art film, and how a lot of these directors start. They make that movie, that it's low budget, whatever, and they go on to bigger and better things.
Yeah.
Wes Craven, man, Hills Have Eyes too, and like there's so many people, they just need that budget. But it was cool. Carol Davis said like that was a real morgue in Jamaica, and they smoked weed there. Like I was like, oh, that's pretty
dope.
Creepy.
But this is like honestly, like this is where the movie is almost at like I swear this is like probably only 30 minutes in, but it makes sense for like the hour and 10 of actual film that we see, because from there, this is what Maddie's like, we have to go visit Lake Victoria. So she talks to like her fling from high school, the jock cop that we didn't talk about before, that is drinking and smoking on the job, and he's kind of an asshole to Matt Bush, the nerdy kid. Ugh. So they go, hey, let's go to Lake Victoria. They find Christopher Lloyd. I love that they say, we've seen your video on YouTube. And he talks about how high is YouTube.
How many likes he has.
Yeah.
Okay, so remind me, and again, I think I lost some of this. Why did they go to Christopher Lloyd? Because he was in the first movie?
Yeah, he's an expert in the field.
So
he's at Lake Victoria. So he's a marine biologist that's stationed at Lake Victoria, where the first one.
So he's like the Hooper of this movie, where he's like, listen, Hooper knows like all the dangers and everything else. Christopher Lloyd was full aware of that.
Yeah.
So,
but that's who he is.
But then why was he keeping one as a pet?
To study it, because he was talking about how they were evolving, and he goes, "Here, give me the steel plate. Let me put it in here."
Okay, so so you're telling me the piranha, while he's studying it, can go through a steel plate, but glass it can't touch.
Yeah, and now here's a little the frog. When they throw the frog in there, he's like, we have to give him something to go after.
He says, because I ran out of puppies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Puppies at the pet store.
That had to be ad-libbed. That had to be made up. That was okay.
Such a great line.
So again, it can go through steel, but glass it can't
But not
touch.
glass. You're right.
How stupid
I know.
is that?
And they can't. And for the fact that it can't fly out of the tank, it's going this fast that it can go through steel, but it can't get that much speed and go up and fly out. Come on.
Oh my god! Look how
I like Danielle Panabaker. I don't think she was in enough because she's in Friday the 13th, 2009.
She reminds me of
really?
Kate
She's in a
Mara.
bunch of good stuff.
she
Sort of,
she
yeah.
was in the show Shark with what's his name? James Woods. He was a lawyer.
Oh yeah, that was a good show.
Yeah, it was a good show. Oh, I can't stand that kid.
he had a frog once.
Oh, come on.
What do you mean?
Again, no way he's ending up with her. That's the most unrealistic thing in the whole movie because he was such a tool. He really was the entire movie. You know, I mean, you're talking about like what are they? They had to be in college age, right? They're like, if not older, because you got the cop, you got like they're all. And he's acting
Yeah,
like
I think they're probably 23, 24 because she's going to be a marine
Right,
biologist,
okay.
so maybe she's extra school or something.
so he's acting like he's in like high school, like drooling over the girl and like upset because he didn't win, you know, because the jock got her. Like, ugh.
Right. It's like Can't Hardly Wait. Like he's like the
Yeah.
Ethan Embry character from Can't Hardly
Yeah,
Wait.
you know what though? That kid in Can't Hardly Wait was way cooler than this kid.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
He was.
Okay. And the fact that he wouldn't jump in and say, not only that, he made her go swimming by herself. In the, you know, like he didn't even tell anybody, hey, listen, why don't you wait? I'll tell someone else to go with you if I can't do it. Fine. He just said, all right, go ahead. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but that at the same time it shows how much he really likes her. Maybe she's finally putting two and two together because he got a job at a water park and he can't swim.
Mhm.
He's wearing a costume. You don't wait. Okay. See, I didn't understand that part because you can work in a water park and not swim. If you're not a lifeguard, there's no reason for going to water. So,
No.
so you're telling me, okay, so you're telling me the woman that sells hot dogs at the water park needs to know how to swim?
You never know.
Why?
You never know.
High tide.
Give me a hot dog emergency or something. You know?
Yeah, this kid's a tool. There's no way.
And he definitely got
Well,
some.
maybe they want people to swim just in case they slip and fall in. You don't want like
That's what a lifeguard is
like-
for. Which
Hasselhoff
this place
ran on
had
the-
none. Oh,
yeah.
that was funny though when he got tired in the middle of running.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
I'll give. You know what? Listen, he is a tool, and I do think he thinks he's cooler than he is. But he did, you know, like again. Imagine it was him and Gary Busey in this movie. Like that, I'm watching
Oh,
that.
dude.
I'm watching
Oh,
it.
dude, a buddy cop.
A buddy
with them?
cop?
I would watch them go on a road
Oh.
trip. Like if they were brothers
Oh.
and they haven't seen each other in 20 years and they have to like do something to get dad's will or bring like sign me up.
Remake twins with them. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really like. I mean, they totally can make either like a sitcom together. Like they're two extreme people, right? And
Perfect
I think that would
Strangers.
work.
Yeah.
Oh, something like that. Yeah.
God, I would love that to happen. But so then Christopher Lloyd spits out, oh, you know, piranhas love chlorine, and they'll try to go towards it. And they're like, oh, well, we have a water park, and they're not too far if they're at the lake. And in my head, I'm like, oh my God, why can't they just somehow, like, there has to be something you can do. If they shut down the power at the park, they can't open, right? Or something. They're just like, their logic is, oh no, we open tomorrow. What are we going to do before then? It's like, I don't know. Not open, like that's what makes no sense about this movie at all. Like I know other movies like Jaws 3D and like other ones that have like an amusement park theme, like they have to somehow the place still gets open and people get in there. But this one, it seems so silly because she was like sort of part owner. I'm sorry, she was 49% owner,
And she
he
does
was
nothing as an
51.
owner. She does absolutely. She's not allowed to make any decisions on her own.
51%. He goes, oh, I have 51%. It was pretty silly.
Oh, so
like-
dumb. So dumb.
But we did get a line that I never thought Christopher Lloyd would ever say. When he looks at the views, he goes, take that, laughing diarrhea, baby.
He totally ad-libbed his
Yeah.
lines in this movie. I mean,
yeah.
without a doubt.
Oh, yeah, dude.
So,
Yeah.
and again,
Oh,
that line makes no sense whatsoever. But coming from him, it makes perfect
It
sense.
makes total sense.
Nails it. So then we get Shelby, who's somehow a virgin, which she's a 22 or 23-year-old virgin at this point. And she goes to the other dude. She goes, sleep with me. I don't feel good.
Okay,
And I don't want to
okay,
die a virgin.
okay.
Ugh.
So, okay, first of all, she threw up before, and she's walking around like she has the worst like stomach ache. The way she's like she doesn't feel good, and she's asking the guy to have sex. Like, so you're the guy. You're gonna want to have sex with her, knowing that she's just First of all, you don't know what kind of thing that she's gonna give you that she's sick with.
Yeah,
and I mean that's her thing, that she thinks she thinks she's dying because she doesn't want to die a virgin. So this guy's instead of maybe taking her to a doctor, no, okay, fine, I'll have sex with you.
yeah. And she says, "Come inside me." And I'm like,
yeah.
oh, no.
Yeah, that was.
Even though she probably just means like, "Hey, come inside me," not like, "Come inside me." It's still a weird thing to say,
especially when you were throwing up.
I think they
morning.
both mean the same thing.
No, they don't. One means, "Hey, put your penis in my V."
The other
put your
one,
pee in my V. The other one is like, "Put your
seed
ejaculation in my V."
I think he wasn't wearing protection, so I think she knew what she was saying.
Oh, he should have.
Or
got
did
some
she? Because
protection.
she feels like she's dying and she's sick, so she probably maybe didn't even. Okay, she also blacks out and doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, she's
so like
going into like freaking Linda Blair mode.
I mean, this scene makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, and it was only just for
for shock.
Let's do the weirdest thing. Let's do the weirdest thing possible. That's all it was, because there's no explanation. She doesn't feel anything that's going on down there. Like she doesn't she doesn't feel a piranha the size of a football come out. I mean, so.
You know what it made this more, not like more believable, but more like, okay, this makes more sense if like the piranha was somehow controlling her, because that's the way it felt. It seemed like
that's more believable. Wait a second. You think the piranha could?
No, I'm not saying it's more believable.
Well, you did say
I'm saying it makes more sense. Well, maybe I did. Run it back. More believable. Okay, I did say that. But no, I'm saying the fact that for me, I think that would make more sense if it was like the piranha's like, because there must have been a reason, because him putting his P in her V opened it up for the piranha to get out.
You saying that reminds me of like Men in
was
Black,
coming out any other way.
Like the aliens from Men in Black that are controlling the humans, like like the.
I thought she was going to turn into a piranha.
Like
the way she was acting, I thought she was going to turn into a piranha.
That would be great.
Like
she starts getting gills and stuff.
Sharp.
Yeah, I mean, and then a movie like this, why not? I mean, like everything else is so ridiculous. I could see that just as much as what happens in the movie.
Yeah,
So
yeah, but dude,
that
whole thing with
the great line. What the fuck is on my dick?
How'd you?
No, wait. Not only survived, Doug, she actually acted like she just passed. Like she slept for a little bit and she feels okay now. Like she woke up like. I'm okay now. What's going on? Like, where are you? Like,
well, no, she said, I think I had an accident.
Okay, right. Okay. So, but okay. First of all, wouldn't there be blood all over the place? In the bed.
Well, blood all over her when she walked down when she saw Barry.
Yeah, but that's not her blood.
Maddie.
That wasn't her blood. That was probably the guy.
Wait, no, because he didn't cut it off until he got to the kitchen.
But the piranha bit him. So it was probably,
I guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, but she acted like, first of all, okay, let's just say for argument's sakes, that is possible. It's a pretty traumatic experience. Ask any woman who's given birth to a baby. So here you have a piranha that's, and you're going to tell me like, you're going to be able to act normal afterwards and like, not understand what happened. Like, it was almost like she was possessed at one point.
Yeah.
She was like having convulsions and like she blacked out.
Yeah, she didn't remember anything. She was like, "Wait, where are you?"
Yeah.
And then she.
If you had a baby, follow us at Sequels Only on Twitter. If you had a piranha come out of your vagina,
you know what would have been funny when she was walking if she stepped on the party cutoff, and just like
she walks past it.
Not that she walks past it, but if she stepped on it and just kept walking, like not realizing, but the audience sees what she steps on.
Or she slipped and died. Like if she slipped and died, that would have been like to the theme of the.
Why would she die from slipping? She just had a piranha come out of her. You think slipping on the floor is going to kill her? I just think it'd be funny if she walks and steps on it and you hear like a squeaky noise, like and then she walks.
She like kicks it.
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh! Wasn't that a movie where a dog grabs it?
Bizarre.
Wasn't like someone gets a cut off and the dog grabs it and is running around
with
it?
Yeah, what is that?
Had to be like a scary movie or something like that. One of those.
I know in the movie Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Robert Downey Jr. like his thumb gets cut off and the dog like picks it up and like runs away with it, but then he brings it back.
No. This is a Lorena Bobbitt moment in a movie, and it's got to be
The
like a
dog-
scary movie or something.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
No.
don't Google that.
21 Jump Street.
It's got really bad results.
21 Jump Street. Rob Riggle at the end.
Dude, is that what it is?
Well,
No, I don't think it's that.
Jonah
I
Hill
just
shoots his
got,
dick
dude.
off.
I just got the grossest headline from. I wrote penis and dog
No,
mouth from
why
a
would you-
movie scene,
Oh, your search your
and
search
one of
history
them
is
says
fucked.
one says dude puts his penis in a dog's greedy mouth.
Oh,
God, people.
You
are
are-
you
you're
know
on
what?
a list.
I got to tell you, this podcast
Bookmark for
today,
later.
this podcast today has been so disgusting and off the rails throughout the whole.
Which goes with this movie, so we're
Oh,
right on
it do-
track.
it does.
We're
Unfortunately,
par with.
this is what happens when you watch a movie like this. You're
Yeah.
tainted.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go
And
ahead.
then speaking of
Go
taint,
ahead.
the piranha goes in the guy's taint later in the movie. But
Alley-oop.
dude, the fact that the guy cuts his own penis off,
Yeah,
like that is like, I know you had to choose, but in my head, I'm like, is he going up?
that's
it
like the
to
ultimate
get
Saw
more? Couldn't you-
like punishment.
Okay, why would he do that instead of maybe trying to kill the fish? Like I thought he was going to try to chop the fish, and he was worried that he's going to hit himself. I didn't think he's going to go all Saw
No,
on
he-
himself and cut it off. Like, why wouldn't you try to kill the fish?
Yeah.
I mean,
Bad
even if you
idea.
tried to pull it off and it scrapes at skin and really rips it off, you're still going to have you're still going to have it. I mean, once you cut it off, it's over.
I mean,
You know, even if they try to sew, even if
Didn't
they try to sew
Bobbitt's-
it back, it's not going to be the same.
didn't Bobbitt skip?
Yeah, John Bobbitt
It
was
did.
able to get it on in time.
Yeah, but
And
I
then
don't
he
know
made
if it
a
still
porno,
works.
right?
Frankenweenie.
Yeah, he did a porno.
Yeah.
Then it wasn't like Frankenweenie. I think no, I really think it was called like Frankenweenie or something like that because he's all stitched up and everything. So I think it was.
I don't want to Google
Yeah,
that. My computer will get a virus if I Google that. So then we get Kyle. He pulls over Whammy.
Oh god!
And I love the way Chet acts. And he goes, money's in the glove box. And it looks like a lot of money. And I'm like, he's a deputy who doesn't make a lot of money. So usually you don't have to pay off that deputy. Like,
Yeah.
what's he going to do?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. Unless he caught him like drilling to the well and said like, hey, you better pay me off. That's a lot of money. What are they making there? He has so many employees that he had just hanging out for 3 days straight.
And they
That's
weren't
a
even
lot of
open yet.
money. They weren't open at all.
So where's the money coming from? Unless the
I guess
strippers are
maybe
invested,
his wife had a good insurance policy.
or the
Oh,
strippers are
maybe.
investing. I mean, they made a lot of money that probably the weekend before.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if it was Maddie's mom's water park. So it was like in her family. So Chet somehow weaseled in as the
What
creepy
mom owns a water park? That's so stupid.
You imagine if you went on a date, Nick, if you date a girl and first date, she's like, oh, what do you do for a living? And she's like, oh, well, I own this water park.
Well,
Is that
it's
yay
like
or nay?
it's like if you have to choose, like, you know, you have like two girls, like on I mean, I don't know how like these Tinders or whatever work, but like you could choose between two. One family owns a water park and one, you know, owns like a restaurant and like in the city, or like you're going to the water park. I mean, that's like, you know,
Oh, I was gonna go to the restaurant.
no way. Free
That's a
water
good
park?
That's true. That's a good first date because if at the water park she can't be caked up in
No.
makeup.
And
Once she goes down once,
Yeah.
boom.
You'll see the real deal.
Yay!
That's true.
See?
Pretty
Double
good.
D's.
Okay.
But double teeth. When you get Shelby's line when she is standing there, like with blood down there, and they're looking at her shocked after Maddie and Barry get back from, her getting attacked by another piranha. She goes, "Josh cut off his penis, and something came out of my vagina." But like, how do you even like process that? Even though you just saw a flying piranha and you saw like all this crazy shit, I don't think I could process that.
Not only, but like that's such a made up line. Like, you know, there's no script there because she's literally saying exactly what we just saw.
What happened?
Like it's such a
She's
simple.
describing the previous.
Yeah,
scene,
I mean, it's really what it was. And it's like, so like, we say $5 million, but like, where, like, where did, like,
All the
It went
special
to Ving
effects, I'm
Rhames.
sure. Like, I'm sure that's what it was. Yeah.
Ving Rhames
Is
got
that worth making a movie like that?
1.5.
Oh, Ving Rhames.
Yeah.
Busey.
They did that exposition. So if somebody went to the bathroom during the movies and they came back, it was like, hey, what just happened? Hey, Josh just cut his penis off me here. Oh, I'm caught up.
Oh.
I'm good.
I'm surprised he
But
didn't.
she couldn't shut down the park at all.
No, I know. I thought Ving Rhames was going to say I'm going to get medieval on their ass, and see that would have been good if he said that. When he was going after them.
I ain't afraid of no punk ass
Damn it,
water.
That is a pretty him and Paul Shear. That was pretty funny. But just before that, the Hoff, we see him in a hotel room.
Oh my gosh!
And he's singing a song on a mini piano.
Of course he is.
And I love that he's having a three-way.
And he calls the girl by the wrong name, and that's when the other one pops up.
Classic Hoff.
And he's laying on the bed with his feet kicking in the background, he's like guy's like 60-something years old.
It's like 11:30 in the morning. He's got like an old fashioned, just like in a bathrobe.
See, here's the difference. Okay, there's no way he's having three ways. In Cannonball Run, was it the second one? It was Dean Martin, and he had like the young girl in the bedroom.
Yeah,
but that's Dean Martin. He's cool. There's no way the Hoff is having two girls in his young girls in his hotel room.
Maybe they're from Germany. They're really
yeah, they're from Germany. No, but he's too like if this was the 90s, I could see him getting somebody young because then it's a story you tell your friend. But if it's like now and it's a girl that's 23, 24, and if she was trying to show off, she'd only be showing off to her mom or aunt. Like she went to her friend and be like, I blew David Hasselhoff and be like, who's David Hasselhoff? It'd be like the redhead kid in this movie. You'd have to be like pulling up his IMDb photos. They'd be like, oh, I think I might have saw that guy. Oh, was he on America's Got Talent in England or one of those?
No, he was on America's Got Hoff.
Oh, he was here.
He was here. He was a judge. He was a judge here in like the first I don't know if it was like a couple seasons or something, but yeah, he was here. So, but that's the thing. Like he always shows up. He goes down some of his movies and like somehow like he gets that call because they need that character of making fun of Hoff because everybody knows like he's in the movie. Oh, they're goofing on him and he's doing some kind of goof.
Yeah.
SpongeBob.
He was in a SpongeBob movie. You ever see his scene?
He even mentions that too. I love when he says that.
Did you ever see the scene of him in the SpongeBob movie?
Patrick's on his back.
Like
it looks so ridiculous when he's in the water. I mean, it's so dumb. He was also in Click. Remember in Click?
Yeah, he was the boss.
When Adam Sandler punches him.
In Click.
Yeah,
he was the boss.
Yeah, he was.
And
he was
Adam Sandler
boss
pauses him and starts like punching him like while he's frozen.
And now we get Ving Rhames and Paul Shear, which is like, dude,
what a weird pairing. What a weird pairing.
So I know. I would love. I don't know if Paul ever talked about it on How Did This Get Made. But
he might have brought it up.
That's Paul like June saying like, "Hey, I'm hot as hell." Okay. They were together already, but I'm saying like he fixed the gap and he looks like he's the lead.
Yeah,
he looks like Ron. He looks like Ron Howard's brother. He could be. He could be Ron Howard's he looks more like Ron Howard's brother than Ron Howard.
The scene though with him they push him in the water is so funny though. It feels like it's like an Abbott and Costello sketch or something.
When the lady goes, hey, don't push that poor legless stump into the pool.
He's like, don't listen to my pussy mouth. And he's like, all right, I won't listen to your pussy mouth.
But how do they like?
No, don't put me in the. Don't put me in the.
I'm gonna put you in. I'm gonna put you in.
But how do they cast that? Like, how did it's a very weird like Ving Rhames has been in big movies and again Paul Shear did it's just a weird pairing. It's almost like they didn't get too many options. And we just need to, who we can get kind of thing. It's like having, what's his face from Impractical Jokers in Sharknado.
I bet you Ving Rhames just had an open afternoon and he was like, you got me for 2 hours. And he literally filmed all his scenes.
Well, he was in the first one. He's in Piranha 3D. So, and Paul was in that one too. So
he is?
Just like, hey, you know what?
Wait.
He was the cameraman for Jerry O'Connell. He was like
Jerry O'Connell.
Who plays like a Girls Gone Wild type of guy. He's such a creep in that movie.
Jerry O'Connell?
Yeah, he's such a dirtbag.
He always does, and it's amazing. What he was in Stand by Me,
yeah.
And then he marries what's her face, like one of the what was he married to? The blonde.
Stamos.
Rebecca Romaine.
We're back to remain.
But
Nice.
if you watch you go back to Stand By Me, you're like, all right, all these young kids and the fat one, like who's like he's basically Chunk from Goonies,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
winds up like it's amazing.
One of the best lines from any of those celebrity roasts is your wife left you for the fat kid for Stand By
I remember
Me."
that. Yes,
One of the best, man. But,
that was good.
So the Hoff again, the just the way he is in the movie,
Oh.
I had to like pull a clip of him because this is how great he hams it up as himself. Like
I like the seriousness
He's
of
all
looking.
for it.
You're dying. You're a lifeguard. Do something.
I'm not a lifeguard. Never was one.
But it's like they show him turning around at least 5 times.
Once these
Look at the kid.
idiots get out of the water, it's not as if the fish
Yeah.
are going to follow them home.
see, that was like kind of a foreshadowing to the end.
That's the third
Yeah,
one.
it keeps turning. It's very Jaws like. That's in Jaws. That's that pull shot that Spielberg's famous for.
You went back.
They really drag it out.
You little ginger moron.
He hated that ginger kid.
Oh yeah.
He really hated him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, baby. Oh, that song and everything, dude.
Ugh.
I love he's running past people that actually like need real help.
He was on
He
two
knocked the guy down.
hit shows.
Oh,
He was.
dude,
Shows.
Knight Rider was so badass.
Oh.
I'm getting old.
Oh my god.
Again. Look how shallow the water was. When he stood
I
up,
know.
it was up to his knees. Why can't those people get out of that water? It literally
He was
like
happy. He saved the kid.
no, I know that, but when he went in there and he stood up, the water was at the bottom of his bathing suit.
I know.
I mean, like, and people are screaming, they need help. So dumb.
Oh my god, man. But man, this movie, and this is from right here, we already talked about like Whammy. Chet is pumping the water from the underground lake. So the piranhas are already here. And the kid, how about the mom? How about the shitty mom?
Oh,
When the kid goes, "Oh,
What?
mommy, I got bit by something in the pool,"
And
and,
that-
you're thinking it's gonna be
yeah,
a little nip.
that deep
It's
cut?
lot
He had
of
a big
blood.
cut.
It's a deep cut. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
And she's like, "Go get a lifeguard."
Mom said, "Sure."
I'm gonna go back to my romance
Oh,
novels.
my God.
Go get that lifeguard.
They should have
No care.
They should have had the mom from the original Jaws in this movie that lost the kid on the raft
Oh, that'd be
as a
great.
cameo. Like
I'd be shocked if she was alive because she was
She-
a really old mom in that.
she was.
She looked like a
wa-
grandma.
Yeah, she was an old mom for the young kid that was on the raft. You're right.
Oh my god, dude!
You're right.
But yeah, nobody cares. Like,
Yeah.
and the trope of horror movies and most movies, terrible parents because they don't care.
Yep.
So he goes to Hoff, and then that's the ginger kid in the clip that we just played. That Hoff saves like probably 10 minutes after like what we're talking about right now. But but Ving Rhames, when he finally goes into the pool and he has that titanium legs and he's shouting like, "Yeah, titanium, motherfuckers!" because they're eating at his
Eat
titanium
this.
legs and they're not doing anything.
But he just looks so ridiculous because he's so big, and you see these skinny titanium legs. It looks
Yeah.
so ridiculous. Like it really looked. It's very funny.
So silly.
It was.
And the fact that
Uh.
he has in his cane that he has, or in his crutches, he has a shotgun
Where-
that he's shooting.
Where did that come from? Where was
I
he?
don't know.
Where was he hiding it? Because I that was pretty big, and like I wasn't sure how he
He
was
did
able
tell
to hide
Paul
it.
to go get his
I
legs.
don't know.
Yeah, but unless
Yeah.
unless the titanium legs turned into it.
Maybe it looked like something separate, but Paul was very upset that he didn't know about it. Because Ving Rhames, I think, even said like it was a special order.
Okay,
But
so
And then I just think of we have the meats. Like that's all I think of when I hear his voice.
so if Paul got the legs again, where is that shotgun hiding?
yeah.
And how does
in the I know it's silly because I don't think he was like taking his leg off.
No,
and shooting.
I thought he was
that.
pulling
Yeah.
Rose McGowan like
Yeah.
in that movie.
Planet Terror.
That
Was it?
Yeah. So was it?
Yeah.
His leg was shooting. Was his leg shooting, or did he have a gun?
No, he had it was because the bottom of his leg had like a shotgun attached to it. Like
That's what I'm saying.
Like Rose McGowan.
Right.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah.
It was part
Yeah.
of the.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I thought it was like a cane
That's
or
why he's-
something.
no,
he had.
that's why
No,
he's
no,
like-
no.
Go get my
Yeah.
legs, and his leg.
Yeah.
That's why he kept lifting his left leg up to like
Right.
shoot, and he actually
Yeah.
shot a guy.
And, he shot a guy, but like he was able to hit a lot of. He was able to hit a lot of piranha.
He did, but
with shooting by his leg.
it's a buckshot, so you're not going to get too much accuracy with that thing. It's just spray and hope.
So, how does that work? How are you able to pull the trigger while it's attached to your leg?
I don't know, and there was a lot of bullets in that thing.
That's a lot of bullets.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, again, Rose McGowan did the same thing, but like, where's the trigger? Like you just like shake it and then that like shoots the gun, or
I don't know. She had like a
That's a
she had like a
special
pump
order.
action one on hers. Like she had to like literally reach down to like her calf to like.
okay, so then that's believable.
Yeah,
Okay,
his I don't know.
Big Rain wasn't doing any
That's
of that.
believable.
Well, she is using her hands to pump it. Then okay, fine. It would be different if she did like she tried to pull like the Arnold and she flipped her leg around and it pumped itself each time she shot.
Yeah.
That scene was so
So
wild.
silly. And it just gets crazier. So the whole thing about this, then the next thing was like, what we have to do is obviously get the water out of the pool. So we have to drain it. So she sends the nerdy kid and Jet Humper to run and drain the pool because they're, oh, we can do that. That's easy. I love Chet at this point. His non-death is so silly. He's like, we're gonna get out of here, and he gets in his golf cart, which probably doesn't go fast at all, but he gets decapitated by like
By
flags?
like a flag
yeah,
on
like
a
the
string.
flag within the plastic frag. Yeah. Is it razor
then-
blades
and
inside?
then where his
Like,
head finally lands?
Barbed wire?
Where his head finally lands.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Where
Yeah.
did it land?
some double D's.
She
catches
Yeah,
it.
double Ds.
She catches.
On the cooch cam, right?
Yes,
It lands
yes,
on the cooch
yes,
Oh, does
yes.
she? Oh, I thought it was like she catches it in her.
No, she
Oh, no, you're right. No. The cooch cam is why he left,
Yeah.
because he looked into the adult pool and all the big boob girls were dead. And then the cooch cam, there was a piranha eating a girl's stomach. But yeah, you're right. And she caught
She's
it
like-
and motorboated for a second and then like threw it
Yeah.
away. He'd probably be happy if he knew about that in the afterlife. He'd probably be like, you know what? I went out the way I
Yeah.
wanted to.
The amount of food that the piranhas eat, you'd be surprised. I'd be surprised that they're not bigger than they are, because they
Yeah.
basically
Yeah,
devour.
don't they get full?
That's what I'm saying. Never.
They have to get full.
Not in movies.
right?
They don't.
Yeah,
Or are they eating and just spitting it out?
maybe.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe
it's just.
they're wasters.
They're just.
Okay.
They don't like the way human taste. They're like, and they're like, we don't want it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's silly. Like, because they are tiny for the most
Yeah.
part. I know we didn't talk about it. I don't know if I didn't write it down, but like when Maddie has that dream sequence, which I think is like way before this, but it's like very Nightmare. It's a nod to Nightmare on Elm Street because we see the little ones popping out and then we see the big ones scare her. And I loved in the bloopers, right?
Yeah.
How cool
Yeah.
is that?
But the that's actually a nod to Saturday the 14th. So Nightmare. You ever see Saturday the 14th?
No, Saturday 14th came before.
I think it came before Nightmare on Elm Street.
84?
I'd be curious.
Yeah, you looking it up, Doug?
Look it up. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh yeah, 1981.
Yeah.
Right.
So and you remember that scene? That had like the creature from Black
Yeah,
Lagoon.
yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's where
Our
it started
buddy
from.
Steve Neal worked on that movie.
I love that movie.
Great
I
That's a great
love
movie.
Saturday the
It really
14th,
is.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Tambor.
Oh, he's the
is so
best.
good in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So
So good.
yeah. Okay.
But man, then the trident scene that we like knew was coming, right?
Of course you knew it was coming. Yeah, he had no use in this movie at all except for that.
Yeah.
And the trident, God bless you. And the
Thank you.
and the trident looks like a toy trident. Like it looks like a plastic.
Oh,
like,
dude, the colors of it
Yeah,
were not
it's-
like it
no,
looked like plastic.
it looked like
Yeah.
a plastic trident. Like it's not going to do anything. I can understand if it had like the King Neptune metal trident and you walk it fine.
Yeah. Aquaman.
But this is and it was like a fat like spikes on it. Like it wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
So
the
silly.
The
And-
two on
and
the
he-
outside were plastic, and the one in the middle was just
Yeah.
straight. Like it was like a
Yeah.
metal rod, like a metal.
So even if he threw it one, it probably wouldn't reach where he's trying to throw it to. It wouldn't have enough speed, and it wouldn't go straight.
Right.
So, and let's be
You have
honest.
to have some force to throw it.
Of course.
For it to not only go into the water, but then like have the speed in the water.
And the way it looked, I feel like as soon as it hit the top of the water, it wouldn't go under. It would stay on top.
It would just float.
Yeah. So,
but man, dude, and yeah, so he saves
pretty
the
accurate.
day, like he saves her, and the cop. Now, one thing I did, because there was so much chaos going on with all the people like bleeding in the background.
Oh
like
my
CGI
God.
bleeding. How does the trident go into the air?
yeah.
To get the cop in the eye. How did that go fly into the air?
But can we just
You know
talk
what?
about how the cop gets into the water? Like what? Like he gets it. He jumps into the water because he's like, man up, Kyle, man up. And he jumps in. And he's like, I just got to save
Yeah.
a life. And the thing he pulls out is like a dead, rotting carcass. And he's like, someone get a medic.
Yeah.
It's like got like no head.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
His thing was funny because he left. He's like, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Maddie. I took the money from your uncle, from your stepdad. I didn't know. And he like was.
And
leaving her.
Is he
It's
the
like,
only
the-
cop in town?
The kid runs past and she goes, she's
It
gone.
seems like
She
it.
can't be saved.
It's-
And she's right at the edge, like 5 feet away.
Yeah. But do you remember, Nick? How did it get thrown in the air? How did the trident go?
It was
in the
like
air?
stuck in something, and then the pressure from something like blew it up, like straight up into the air, and then it comes down and hits her right in the face.
Was it the water pressure that was sucking her
I
up?
think so, yeah, because like he had gotten her up.
Maybe the pool jet humper guy.
He-
Because remember that area like blew
yeah,
up.
he did it.
So maybe it flew up there because it blew up, and I thought he died, and then he was just laying
Yeah.
there.
Okay, this is something we didn't mention throughout the whole movie. So there's two scenes where the main girl is underwater for a very long time. So the one scene when the nerdy kid let her go by herself, she's literally underwater for such a long time. And then in the pool, she's at the bottom of the pool stuck for a very long time. So
she should be brain damaged.
yes,
Yeah. Oh,
there's no
yeah.
way she's lasting that long.
Easy.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you're right. No, like both of them. Like the first one, when the piranha, when she's trying to check the grates to make sure. And again, they're not that small. Like you would think that would keep piranha out. The grates were like super big.
Yeah.
It was like in movies when the bars and the jail cells are wide. It's like
You can
turn
easily
sideways,
slide.
walk
Yeah,
out.
absolutely.
The piranhas would do the same thing.
Yeah.
No. 100%.
Okay.
Ridiculous. But yeah, the cop gets it. But the end of the movie, to me, makes zero sense. And of course,
You mean when she kisses? Wait, she kisses him?
No, Christopher Lloyd.
They're learning to walk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because now I finally learned how to break out of the glass.
Oh my god.
I didn't think this was the end. I thought this was like, another, like, when
Little
killers don't end in
Yep.
horror movies. And you're
Little
like,
Danny
okay.
Bonaducci.
Okay, this was shocking. this is a little ridiculous.
I love it.
Okay, yeah, that was a little.
Kid's head eaten off.
I did not expect that.
Little ginger moron.
Love it.
I did not expect that.
Classic.
But the
yeah.
fact that not only are they able to go through glass, they're able to kind of like burn a hole small enough to slide through and not make it shatter. They're able to create a hole to go through.
Yeah.
See, to me, this almost seems like it's a lead up to Piranha 2.
Oh yeah, no, because they're starting to.
Yeah.
They're starting to
evolving.
correct.
So
Maybe
that would
it's a
make
prequel.
sense, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The fact that they were hiding inside the cow, they were hiding inside the girl. They were like, I feel like this is like a lot of very similar, a lot of similarities to Piranha 2. And then the fact that they're walking out of the water, which again doesn't really. It's not like they learned how to walk; they grew legs to walk out of the water.
Yeah.
So it'd be one thing if you saw them like just kind of like rolling around out of the water, but fine. But how'd they grow legs?
Yeah, they
I
don't
know.
explain that.
Okay.
But then we got Fish Hunter
Oh,
with
my God.
Hasselhoff because
can't-
he got like a movie after this. But I love the bloopers of that too because they do bloopers of that later in the reel. But there were some funny ones, man. I love when they were messing with her in the bath.
Yeah,
when
that was funny.
We're probably telling her close your eyes and open your eyes, and we're gonna have this
Yeah,
sweetie,
yeah.
like this giant piranha thrown into
Yeah,
your face.
that was funny.
But, and she couldn't spit out her lines in the one scene. It was pretty. I thought that was fun. I missed that on DVDs.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I missed about DVDs.
Special bloopers
is like the gag reel.
That's why, and that's what Cannibal Run was known for. Both movies, they had like the entire credit was all outtakes, and it's just amazing. Like it's got to be fun. Any movie, especially a movie like this, this movie's bad, and just like how much fun you're gonna have on there. Like there's gonna be so many, especially when you have people that can ad lib like a Christopher Lloyd or something, and they're on there. It's so much fun. Like I think it was Liar Liar when they did the outtakes and they're like they messed with Jim Carrey and but he's fooling around the entire time on set. Like how do you take it serious? It's very hard.
Yeah. But so that was Piranha 3 Double D. We'll go to our guest. Before you can say if you recommend the movie or not, but the question I want to know, since you're the second Piranha expert in a series, what would you, no joke, gun to your head, what would you rather watch again? The Awakening or whatever the heck that one was called with Carol Davis, The Spawning, or this one? The Spawning,
yeah. I'd rather.
Yeah, I thought there was a better shot movie. There was like even the kills, even though the same. Like, I know they're silly with like the fish getting thrown through the window. I just think it was like I don't know. There was like more.
There was like
campiness
substance
to it.
to
This was
it.
like trying to be.
Yeah,
campy.
this was like super plastic compared to like Cameron's. So
yeah, definitely a lot of fake boobs.
Yeah, plastic and silicone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would watch Piranha. You tell me you have a choice. Like, yeah, I'm watching The Spawning again.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, as far as this movie goes, there's a lot of better there's a lot of movies that do this kind of thing better, in a more thoughtful way. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would probably recommend this movie. I like the one with Adam Scott and Elizabeth Shue. Like that one's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I need to watch. I know I should watch that one because I like them. But no, I think if they did more of the Tucker and Dale, like if the piranha really never killed anyone, and it was really the people running away from the piranha and killing themselves in silly ways, that could be like funnier. But I was just like, I guess because it's the same movie. I don't know.
It's the same movie, and again, like they try too hard to make it like an '80s, sex romp
like
with the
disaster movie,
adult pool and all that. It just wasn't. It just, it was almost too much. Like if they took away that, and like you said, you add like the Tucker and Dale, I think then you get like a comedy spoof, But it was awful. I mean, I don't think it was entertaining at all, and I think by far there's other Piranha movies to watch than this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a movie that was only like an hour and 10 of actual like film,
that's the only positive thing out of this movie.
Yeah, it was short.
Yeah, the finite run time. But no, the fact that it just was quick in the story, like in the actual story, because when it like got to that 30-minute mark we were talking about before, and it's like, all right, let's go visit Lake Victoria. Okay, we have to go back tomorrow because the park's gonna open, and that's it. It's like they could have not like knocked out a power grid. Like they need power to run this place.
They could have drained the
show
pool
up to a park that has no power.
How about drain the pool?
Yes, they could have done that before.
That could have been.
They should have waited.
Oh, they could have done a lot of things. Again, for being 49% owner of this park, she does absolutely nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
She basically doesn't own anything because she doesn't have a say in anything. So what's the point of nothing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, now she owns 100% of the park. So.
She does. That's true. This movie is like one of our lowest 3.8.
Oof.
Yeah, I think it's a 12% on Rotten.
IMDb.
What's the Son of the Mask?
9, I think.
It's close.
Single digits.
Yeah.
Right?
I definitely think it's single digits.
I know,
but
Catwoman's
you know what?
9.
Yeah.
I got news to you.
You'd rather watch Son of the Mask?
I will watch Son of the Mask over this, without a doubt.
Woof.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
I would love, honestly, I would love if we got to the point that we had like say 100,000 fans and each person donated $10, and we had Jamie had to watch on camera like the worst movies, and I think the choice
3.
easily. Yes, Nick nailed it. I think that's the one
that's the benchmark.
Listen, Talking Pony. Yeah, I mean, there's so many.
Oh, I'd rather watch Talking Pony
Oh
like 10
my
times in a
God.
row than Mirror. A Bleeding Mirror?
I know. Listen,
You know,
we have a
We'll
lot.
save this for the end of the year. We'll go through our.
We have
our
a lot of
awards about
scrapers
this year.
We definitely have a lot of bottom of barrel scrapers.
Ooh.
I want to find a movie that's
Yeah.
0% on tomatoes. We got to find that sequel.
Wow.
We
We
got
gotta find that one.
we gotta
But
find it.
yeah, so thank you, Nick.
Thank you, guys.
And so
Thank you, Nick.
with we mentioned it earlier, is with like the writer strike and the actors. We have a few interviews in the pipeline with people behind the camera, but this is going to give me and Jamie an opportunity to cover like some sequels that are like people that worked on it. Most of them aren't alive. So it's going to be pretty cool to have that opportunity to do that. So one thing that we do have left, a great interview that's going to be out next week, and then I'll let Jamie reveal the movie that we're going to do afterwards. But Devanny Pinn, she's a star of so many independent horror flicks, and it's so cool because she just directed a movie that she's doing like these limited screenings until they have full wide release either the end of the year or early in 2024, and has all of our favorites in it. Lisa Wilcox, Kathleen Kinmont. She was also in the first Piranha movie, so she has some cool behind the scenes stories about that. And man, Joe Castro, she's worked with our buddy Joe Castro, who so many people have worked with and love, and he's one of the nicest guys. I message him every so often, ask him questions, he gets right back to me. And she worked with Vernon Wells in a movie and had great things to say about Vernon. But I think the
Best.
coolest thing is she's a Jersey girl, so it was cool talking about that. And yeah, so that'll come out next week, and that'll be a lot of fun. And then Jamie, what is the next sequel? That one that probably everyone that worked on it is probably dead.
Most
So this
likely.
gives us
Or
an opportunity to cover it.
You know, and by the way, the writer strike couldn't come at a worse time because we were scheduled to have Brad Pitt come on our podcast, and
Yeah, Brad
and
Pitt.
because of the writer strike, they can't do it.
Such a great guy.
But thank you, Brad. Maybe next time. So anyway, so yeah, so I think, you know what? Honestly, I think this journey is going to be fun because, you know, like you said, Doug, you know, there's so many movies that are sequels that are older that it's almost going to be impossible to find anyone, and they need the love too, right? Some of these old movies need some love. So we're definitely going to go through a lot of good oldies that are going to, I think, be a nice change of pace. So the first one I think we're going to do is called The Golden Voyage of Sinbad. And this was from
I like that. You said voyage before. You said journey, like lead into this. I like it.
Yeah, I planned that, so that was perfect. So
I like it.
But
I
I
like it.
remember seeing it. This came out in 1973, and I remember seeing this. My father had
How old were you?
73. I wasn't born yet. So yeah. So I wasn't born yet, but my father used to have like a projector with like, you know, like they never had the full movies, but always had like, you know, parts of the movies. I think I had Jaws on the projector, but only like certain scenes.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah. So we had this movie I remember watching, and I mean I think it's a trilogy actually. So this is the middle movie of the Sinbad movies, and in
Usually
here
the best ones.
well, this is the only one I remember, but I know he fights skeletons in this movie, and he fights a Cyclops.
Nice.
Cool.
So this is
I'm stoked.
this will be fun. This will be a good one.
And this you can get anywhere. I search for it.
I think
Before we
YouTube
always tell people.
YouTube might have it.
I'm sure it's on YouTube,
Yeah.
but like, I'm sure it's free on YouTube, but so many places have for like for $2 or $3
Oh, yeah.
bucks. No, I'm excited to be able to have this opportunity. I love doing the interviews, like talking to Mark last week and Devanny next week. I love doing those, but this is gonna be really cool because we're gonna have the opportunity to really, and then in October, like we're going to pick whatever Friday the 13th we want, you know, at that point. So that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, so that'll be it. So don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast. Follow us on all social media at Sequels Only. And don't forget to check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.